lineup. Now, this is a fairly interesting predicted lineup to pick because obviously Doncaster at home, Carabao Cup. Are we going to make a number of changes? Naturally, Frank confirmed there will be some changes made, but he did say as well that we're still going to have a strong team out there. So he said it's all about finding the right balance on the pitch, about making changes, freshening things up, but also having a very strong team out there. The injury news is Kolo Muani and Ben Davies have been ruled out by Thomas Frank. Muani missed the weekend's game due to a dead leg. Ben Davies has a minor injury. Hopefully they'll be back for the weekend, but they are going to be missing in this game. He also says Dominic Solanke and Kota Takai are training with while training with the team today, which is great news, but this game comes a bit too early for them. James Maddison, Kulusevski, Yves Bissouma and Dragoshin are still long-term injuries. Hopefully Bissouma not too far away. Dragoshin obviously is actually training with the team at the moment, but after that ACL, was obviously taking things very slow and careful. But Kulusevski, Maddison still long-term injuries. They're not going to be seen for a while. So the injury list there, as you can see, is growing. But we luckily, because of our summer business, we do still have quite a lot of options. So the injuries puts a bit of a spanner in the works on what I thought maybe the lineup will look like, but we'll give it a good go. I think in goal, I think it's going to be a chance for Antonin Kinski to get a go in this one because he just hasn't had a look in so far this season. And I think I do think he could do well under Thomas Frank, in my opinion. He said on Kinski in his press conference, he was talking about him. He said the easy thing for Antonin would have been to stay with his former club, but now he has a big stage in front of him and a great future ahead. I think obviously off the back of a bad mistake as well for what you can call it, Vicario against Brighton. Kinski obviously having a chance to show what he's about. It is Doncaster, so you can't read too much into it. But good opportunity for Kinski to get some minutes. And I think he could be a really good keeper for Thomas Frank. All right, fullbacks is going to be a bit of a difficult one to decide because I would have gone Ben Davies, but he's obviously out. Doggy made his first start. So I think Spence comes in. Now, Doggy put in a monstrous effort on the weekend. So is he going to want to give him a break? But if he does, is it Porro and Spence? But Porro needs a break as well. Does Gray come in potentially at fullback? But I think he's also going to want to give... he says he sees Gray more as a midfielder. So he said it's going to be a fairly strong team. So I think maybe he goes Porro. I think he goes Spence at right back. I think he definitely starts this one. And then I guess he goes a Doggy at left back. And gives him another start. But that would mean a Doggy starting 3 games a week. But then someone has to, unless he goes Porro and Spence, and then maybe Porro comes out on the weekend. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way he goes. I think Porro's played so much, he needs to give him a rest. So, yeah, some people in the chat say they think a Doggy and Spence. So, all right, let's go Doggy and Spence in this one. I think it's quite a strong pairing against a Doncaster side, but with Ben Davies out, I think he's going to have to go in that direction. So, centre-backs. I think Danso definitely comes in. Dragoshin and Takai are still not available. He did mention Gray as a centre-back option, but I don't think he's going to start him in this one. I actually think Danso definitely comes in, but I think he comes in for Van de Ven. And I think Romero, because he's captain, will keep his place. And he will keep kind of things together at the back. He will keep the organisation. He's obviously the captain, so he has that responsibility. So I think Kikuchi Romero will start at centre-back with Danso. Van de Ven getting a rest in this one. I think that's kind of how I feel. I think Van de Ven... we know his injury problems in the past, so you don't want to kind of, if anyone's going to get a rest and you don't want to overplay him, I think that would probably be Van de Ven. So, Kuti Romero and Kevin Danso at centre-back. Now, midfield, I think it's a really good opportunity to give Archie Gray a run out. So, I think he definitely starts in kind of defensive midfield position. Pape Sarr didn't play any minutes on the weekend, so I definitely think he comes in as well next to Archie Gray. Now, the front four is interesting because Mawani's out, so he's definitely not going to play. Richarlison, is he going to want to give him a break? Probably want to give him a rest as well. Is this an opportunity to give Xavi his first start in the number 10? Does Bergvall continue playing there? Obviously, you got Tell to come in. I think Tell gets a run out. Now, he played Tell up front against West Ham. So, given that Rishi he did play Tell up front against West Ham, but he did have some interesting quotes about Tell. He said he plays his games for France under 21s down the middle, but he can also play down the left. Maybe it is his best position, but I don't like to say. So he's kind of hinting there that he believes Tell's best position is off the left. But he's only really played him up front due to selection problems, I think. Brennan Johnson's obviously going to need some game time as well. So I think Brennan probably plays off the right. I think he gets a start there. I think it's probably an opportunity. Xavi was on the bench on the weekend. So I think it's an opportunity to give Xavi his first start in the 10 and just have him get used to that role in this system. And it's a really good opportunity to kind of ease him into that. And obviously he was so good in the 10 against Brighton when he came on. And I think probably, even though he said Tell's best position off the left, I think he's, with Moani out, with Rishi our only striker option because Solanke, it's too early for him. I mean, Dane Scarlett is an option. It could be Dane. I think he'll be on the bench. He'll probably come off the bench, Dane. I think Tell starts in the 9 and Odebear comes in off the left. So I think Odebear, off the back of for his first start against Brighton, good opportunity for Odebear to kind of bolster his confidence, get him running at players off the left-hand side, maybe get a goal or assist and really boost his confidence in that position. I think Kudus gets to rest because he started every game so far this season. You bring Brennan in. Xavi, because he was on the bench on the weekend, he gets his first start. Bergvall started 3 games in a week, so he gets kind of a bit of respite in this one. So I think it's a good balance here of a few changes, but also a very strong team. So you can see on screen the team I'm gone for the Doncaster game tomorrow. Kinski in goal, Jed Spence, Kuti Romero, Kevin Danso and Desi Udogie. Midfield 3 of Pape Sarr, Archie Gray and Xavi Simons. With Brennan Johnson on the right, Wilson Odegaard on the left, and Matisse Tell up front. What do we think in the chat? What do we think about this? Christian says Dane has to start. Xavi for 60 minutes and Williams Barnett. That's also a good point. He did say, Thomas Frank, it's really a great opportunity to have some young players on the bench. It's always special to give a youngster the debut. It could be a good opportunity. So I do expect the likes of Williams Barnett to be on the bench as well on the week tomorrow, and maybe get an opportunity to get some minutes. He's absolutely been ripping it up for the under 21s. Williams Barnett. I think last game he scored a first half hat trick. People saying low stakes game, give Tell some minutes, start Dane Odegaard on the bench. I mean, it could be that. Could it be Dane up front and Tell off the left because Odegaard played on the weekend? Could that be the way to maybe give Tell a boost? And because Odegaard could well be starting against Wolves on the weekend as well. That could be it. Maybe it could be a good opportunity to give Dane a start. I don't disagree with that. Andrew Hellier says that team is strong. Meaningful, so I don't see this happening. Our left side would be the main area of creation with that lineup. Absolutely agree. Because Spence and Johnson, we'll have to see how they're so used to linking up on the left-hand side. It'll be interesting to see how they link up on the right-hand side, Spence and Johnson, when they're both on their favoured right foot going down the line. Hippo said, let's make the change, Dane. Do we make the change? What do we think? Do we think Dane comes in? Dane, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna. I feel like it might be just a bit too weak if we go Dane up front and Tell off the left, but maybe not. I mean, Dane has played at that level before. It's not alien to him, and he's done okay at that level. I think we're going to keep it. I think we're keeping it Tell and Odebear up front. I think that's going to be a pretty good lineup. I'm predicting Spurs to win this game 3-0 with that lineup. Obviously, Richarlison off the bench, maybe Dane off the bench. You got Kudus to come on if need be. You got Bergvall to come on. You got Bentancur, Paulini as well if something goes wrong. There's a lot of options off the bench. It does go to show our strength in depth in this one. And obviously the Carabao Cup is a good opportunity for Thomas Frank. I think off the back of winning that Europa League last season, this squad has a taste for winning trophies and a taste for silverware. I do think I predicted Frank to get to maybe the quarters or the semi-finals in the Carabao, but actually to go a lot further in the FA Cup, only because he's still new to the job. So I still think he's figuring things out right now, figuring out his best team, figuring out how good these players are, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. So I think if we do get drawn to a really tough team, a more stable team in this Carabao Cup in the next few rounds, we could come unstuck. Whereas I think once the FA Cup comes around, second half of the season, Frank has had a lot more time with his team and his players, and he's had a lot more time to work out the strengths and weaknesses of all his players. And I think he's going to have a better idea of how we should be playing and what we need to do to win games of football. Albeit we're doing a very good job of that now, but I think we'll be even better in the second half of the season. So I think FA Cup is actually one I'm thinking that we've got a better chance of winning. Carabao Cup, let's see how far we go. Let's see how well we do. I'm not holding my hat on winning that Carabao, but I'd love to win it. I'd love to go back-to-back seasons winning trophies. That would be absolutely brilliant. I think, look, that is your predicted lineup. I think that's all we're going to talk about, really. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going 3-0. Give your score predictions in the comment section below. What do you think the score is going to be? Do you agree with the lineup? Predicted subs, says Hippo. I reckon Dane will come on. Maybe Tell moves over to the left. I reckon Williams Barnett will come on maybe in the 10 potentially if we're up quite, if the scoreline is decent. So I really don't want to see those two players, especially Williams Barnett. I would love to see him get some minutes. Big up to you, Turnello. So Sim carrying the channel on his back. You are there, the one who deserves a break. Now, big up to you. I'm okay. It's all good. I'm excited to see how we get on tomorrow in the Carabao. It'll be a good opportunity for some other players to get opportunities to impress. Hopefully, Tell Odebear can really get some confidence. Hopefully, Xavi gets some time in that number 10 position, and hopefully we really get to see Williams Barnett as well off the bench. That is one I think everyone's really looking forward to for sure. But yeah, look, that's all we're going to go over today. The Thomas Frank press conference is, I think, live on the channel at the moment, so go over and check that out if you want to see what Thomas Frank had to say pre-match. But we'll see you tomorrow for the watch-along when Brian Daigle is in the studio, and he is going to be live with me for the watch-along tomorrow.